We all love to travel, but there are some places which are so amazing and refreshing that they tend to leave us with lifelong memories. These unique tourist places have that something extra about them, something special which makes us want to experience them at least once in our lifetimes. Let us take a look at some of the most unique tourist places in the world. Number 14. Ice Hotel, Sweden. Let us be upfront about it. This is not an experience for people who do not like the cold, because that is pretty much all you will get here. The Ice Hotel is located in Sweden, about 124 miles above the Arctic Circle. So obviously the best time to visit would be the summer, right? Wrong. The Ice Hotel is actually open only in winters, and it embraces ice like never before. The hotel is entirely made from ice, and the guests even sleep on beds made from ice. It doesn't lack in amenities though, as there is a church, maid hall, and a bar as well, but they are all made of ice. So if you even want to experience ice in all its glory, this is definitely the place. Number 13. Sichuan, China. While some destinations in China have been pretty well explored by the people, there are some hidden gems that not many know of. Sichuan is one such place, and one of the major things that attracts tourists here is the Leshan Giant Buddha. It is basically a sculpture of Buddha which has been carved into the mountainside. The sculpture was made in the 8th century and measured over 233 feet tall. It is definitely one of the largest statues of Buddha in the world. Apart from this, there's a lot of panda love that can be explored in Sichuan, with even hotels where the staff dress as pandas. Number 12. Dean's Blue Hole, Bahamas. When looking for extreme adventures, people often turn to underwater explorations. And if that is something that you do or want to do, the Bahamas is definitely one place you should visit. And not just because of the pristine waters, but because of the Dean's Blue Hole. This is basically a hole inside the water that extends beyond the sea level. And while there are many blue holes in the world, called such because of the blue light that can be seen when you are actually inside them, the Dean's Blue Hole in the Bahamas is actually the deepest in the world. It has a depth of 600 feet and is truly a wonderful sight. Number 11. Mont Saint-Michel, France. Okay, so imagine a place which you remember as being surrounded by water. However, the next time you visit, you see that it is surrounded by land. And before you go ahead and blame global warming, which you should, but just not in this case, this phenomenon is the result of tides. Mont Saint-Michel is a tidal island located off the coast of Normandy in France. The highlight of the island is a Gothic abbey that used to house prisoners during the French Revolution. The abbey is definitely an interesting example of Gothic architecture, with pointy spires and an overall daunting look. Mont Saint-Michel is a good experience to add on the list of your holiday experiences. Number 10. Lake Hillier, Australia. If you happen to come upon Lake Hillier by accident, you might just think that you have gone through a wormhole into some fantasy Barbie world. Why? Because the lake is pink in color. And what is even more amazing is that it maintains that color throughout the year. The Hillier Lake is located on the largest island of Australia's Research Archipelago and was first discovered in 1802. The reason for the striking pink color of the lake is that the water is pretty saline here, and there are algae and bacteria species which love the salinity and give the lake its pink color. It is truly one of the most unique places on our planet. Number 9. Thor's Well, Oregon. We are pretty sure that you get excited when you heard the name of Thor. And while you may not see the hammer yielding here, you can pretty much guess that some major was responsible for this creation. The Thor's Well, which is also known as the Spouting Horn, is actually a giant sinkhole. And when the tides are high, it offers a spectacular view. The water flows into the sinkhole with great speeds, and then it shoots upward with a great force. The view is truly spectacular, though you must be a little cautious, as during storms and high tides, it can be a little dangerous. Number 8. Spotted Lake, Canada. When you think of lakes, a great expanse of water is generally what you imagine. Lakes are generally very serene and calm. And while you still get that in a lake in the small town of Osoyoos in Canada, a great expanse of water is not what you will get. In the summers, some of the water of the lake evaporates and leaves behind small mineral pools, each of which takes on a different hue. This land comes under tribal land though, and you are not allowed to enter it, but it is still a great sight. In fact, one look at the Spotted flooded lake and you will understand why the Okanagan people consider it sacred. Number 7. Las Pozas, Mexico. This is one of the most interesting places to be in the world. The reason for that is that a wealthy English aristocrat decided to buy some land of about 20 acres in the jungles of Mexico and just went crazy with it. There are many wonderful and unique sorts of structures that have been built here, and if he set out to create a fantasy land, he sure succeeded. There are a number of surreal structures built here with very fascinating names like House with a Roof Like a Whale. The name should pretty much be self-explanatory, and it should also be a clue as to why you should schedule a visit to this goofy but brilliant place. Number 6. Plain of Jars, Laos. If you ever get caught outside and have the need for jars, hope that you get stuck in the Giang province in Laos. The area is littered with groups of stone jars which number between 1 and 100 in each spot. It is truly a spectacular and wonderful place and will make you wonder why they are here. If you believe the local legends, then these jars were used to brew rice wine for the giants. And if a giant did step out to take a sip from these mythical jars, we wouldn't really be surprised. However, a more believable theory that scientists have come up with is that these jars were actually used in ancient funeral rituals, which kinda makes sense given that they are grouped together. Whatever the reason, it makes for one incredible scenery. Number 5. Pancake Rocks, New Zealand. Sometimes you can guess the exoticness of a sculpture by the time it took to create them. And if you hold that to be true, then you should definitely visit the Pancake Rocks in New Zealand, because this amazing structure has been carved over a period of 30 million years, and the sculptor has been the ocean. Pancake Rocks are basically formations of limestone and sandstone which gathered over a period. But as the sandstone was softer than the limestone, it eroded. What got left behind were structures that resemble a stack of pancakes. These rocks can be found on the western edge of the Paparoa National Park in New Zealand, and it's definitely an amazing experience, as long as you do not try to eat these pancakes. Number 4. Cancun Underwater Museum. When you think of museums, you think of large hallways with many exhibits, but this one is slightly different. While there are still many exhibits, the long hallway is missing. That is because the museum is underwater. As the name suggests, it is situated just off the coast of Cancun, and there are 400 life-size sculptures that you can feast your eyes on, or at least as much as diving gears will allow you to. The best part about it is that the sculptures are made from materials that allow for the growth of corals as well. You can watch many sculptures here while you swim along with the fish, and it is an incredible experience. Number 3. Pamukkale Thermal Pools, Turkey. If you thought infinity pools are all the rage right now, well, you wouldn't be wrong, really. But if you want to truly experience a wonderful pool made by nature herself, do pack your bags for Turkey, because here you can experience the Pamukkale Thermal Pools, which look like fields of cotton balls in some places, which is what the name actually means. Cotton Castle. The thermal pools are basically made up of natural hot spring water, which cascades down several tiers. It is a breathtaking sight, an even better experience to just relax and swim in the pools. You would be forgiven for thinking that this fancy-looking natural pool was a part of some movie set. Number 2. Izu Islands, Japan. Imagine a place so bizarre that you have to wear a gas mask to visit it. We are not talking about a World War era torture chamber either. We are talking about an island in Japan known as Izu Islands, where it is mandatory to wear gas masks to visit. Izu Islands actually sit on top of a chain of active volcanoes, and eruptions are pretty frequent here. And even when the volcanoes are not erupting, they are releasing harmful gases almost continuously. Hence the need for the gas masks. So why would you want to visit? Because the landscape of the island is truly stunning, and some brave souls and noses do want to visit. Number 1. Alnwick Poison Garden, England. So, officially, this has to be the most dangerous garden in the world. The reason is that most of the plants here are poisonous. So why put them in a garden? Because someone thought kids would want to know more about plants if they thought it was poisonous. Weird, right? But then, that is how it is for the Alnwick Poison Garden, where you can find over 100 poisonous plants like the deadly nightshade, strychnine, hemlock, and others. Does that give you some new vacation spots to add to your visit? If so, do let us know in the comments section below. And remember to subscribe to our channel to get the latest updates on all of our videos.